Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is the 29th tutorial in this course, and in this tutorial we are going to talk about SQL joins. Now those of you who've heard things about joins, like joins are really difficult and it's impossible to master joins and all those things, I guess you would have to put all those things at the back of your mind for this tutorial, because joins are extremely simple but very powerful. And at some point of time in your life, if you want to make a career as a database administrator, then you would have to learn joins and also use them extensively. Right now I've worked for an MNC for 5 months as a database administrator, and all I did every day was just use SQL joins and pull out stuff from tables, right? So the reason why SQL joins are popular and so powerful is that joins allow you to pull information out from more than one table, right? So for the sake of this tutorial, I have created another table, and I've given that table the name tutorial_info. So we've seen the tutorial table in the previous tutorials, and let me show you guys the data that I have in that table. So for that, I'll use the select query. I'll type in select space star, since I want to see data in all rows, then from, and then the name of the table, which is tutorial. Put in a semicolon at the end. When I press Control Enter, I see that this table has got ID field and title field, subject field, duration, and upload_date. So in ID, I have got a unique number for all the rows in the table, and the title field holds the title of the tutorials, and subject field holds the names of the playlist. So I've got SQL, C, and shell scripting, and then duration holds the length of the tutorials in minutes, and then upload_date field holds the date on which the tutorial was uploaded, right? So this is the tutorial table, and I have created another table, and this one's tutorial_info, and this holds information about the number of views for each tutorial, the number of likes each tutorial has, and dislikes and shares. And you can see that I have a column in this table which is tutorial_ID, and it holds similar information as the ID column held for the tutorial table, right? So it also has a unique number for each row, and well, this row actually corresponds to the first row of the tutorial table, right? So all this data that you see, 15,000 views and 54 likes and 13 dislikes and 6 shares, this data is for the first tutorial, or the tutorial with ID 1 in the tutorial table. Now let's say you want to see all this information as well as some information from the tutorial table in a single result set, and you want to pull all that information out through a single SQL query. Well, how are you going to do that? Because till now, all the select queries that we've seen in this course, all those queries have just pulled out information from one table, but here we want to see views, likes, and shares from this table, and we want to see title, duration, and subject maybe from the tutorial table. So if you want to do such things, then you have to use SQL joins, and the way you're going to do that is you'll have to use the select query, of course, and you'll first type in the columns that you want. So let's say I'm going to refer to the tutorial table as T, right? And we're just going to use aliasing, and if you don't know what that is, then I would suggest you to watch the previous tutorial in this course in which we talked about the as clause. But I'll just type in T dot and then the name of the column that I want from the tutorial table. So I want ID from the tutorial table, and then I want let's say title, and then I also want duration. Okay, and then on the next line I'll type in the columns that I want from the tutorial_info table, and I'm going to refer to the tutorial_info table as TI. So I'll type in TI dot views, and then TI dot likes, and then TI dot shares, and I guess that's good enough. And then I'll type in from on the next line, and then I'll type in tutorial, right? And since I have referred to the table tutorial as T in the query thus far, I'll have to instruct SQL that I have done that, and for that I'll use the as clause, and I'll type in T here, and then on the next line I'll type in the keyword join, right? And this is going to instruct SQL that, well, all this information that we are looking for, this is not present in just the tutorial table, but it's present in another table, and the name of that table is tutorial underscore info, and since I've referred to this table as ti, I'll type in as space ti here, and then on the next line I'll type in another keyword, and this one is on. And what this keyword is going to do is it's going to tell SQL that this join operation has to be performed on some condition, and that condition is that we want data from both the tables for those rows for which the value in the ID column in the tutorial table is the same as the value in the tutorial underscore ID column of the tutorial underscore info table, right? So it may sound complicated, but if you just think about it, then it'll all make a lot of sense. So the way I'm going to write this condition is I'll type in t.id, and it should equal ti.tutorial underscore ID, right? I'll put a semicolon at the end, and when I press Control Enter, I see that I get a result set in which all this information is present, right? So I have the ID column, and then title, duration, views, likes, and shares, and now I can see the number of views for the select query tutorial, number of likes for it, number of likes for the insert query table, without having to execute the select query for both tables separately, right? So this is about SQL joins, and there's another way in which you can perform the join operation, and that's actually the more used way and also the less preferred way. And this is the right method actually, and this is the method that you would see professors teaching in universities, and the method discussed in textbooks. But the more used way of performing SQL joins is you remove the join keyword from your query. You just have your table name, so tutorial as t, then you put a comma, and then you type in the second table name, tutorial underscore info as ti, and then on the next line you type in where, right? So you type in the where clause, and then the condition, so that would be t.id equals ti.tutorial underscore id. I'll put a semicolon, and when I execute the query, I see that I get the same result set. There's nothing different in this, and you may think that this query is the same as the previous query, but actually they're very different. But you can actually learn through anyway, but it would be great if you practice the previous query more and you master that more, because that is the recommended way of performing the join operation, right? So thank you so much for watching this tutorial, and you may subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon.